Creating a manually scheduled task is easy. Set the task mode to manually schedule, name the task, and fill in the information you have. The task bars change based on which values you enter. We are gonna create a couple of manually scheduled tasks. Before we do that, look down at the status bar in the project window and it says new tasks are manually scheduled. That's what I want for now. So I'm gonna go up into the table and click the first blank task name cell. I'm gonna type the name of the new task, which is back office, and then I'm gonna press tab. Notice the task mode indicator is a push pin with a question mark. The push pin means it's manually scheduled, and the question mark tells you that you haven't added any information. Well, let's start with the start date. You know that it has to start on January 9th, 2020. I type that value into the start date cell and then I'm gonna press tab. When I do that, I just have the start date, nothing else. And when I look in the time scale on the right, all I see is the opening tail bracket for the start date. Well, let's say that you don't know what the duration is, and that's because Shahryar is estimating it. Well, you can still create your task and put a note in to tell you that Shahryar is estimating it, so that when you go to get your estimate, you know to call Shahryar. So I'm gonna type that note in. I type in the note and I can press tab or enter, and now you see that note that Shahryar is estimating the duration. Nothing changes over in the time scale because the only data I still have is the start date. Well, let's say a few days have passed and Shahryar gets back to you and says it's gonna take 2 weeks. So now we can go to the duration cell, click it, and I'm gonna type 2W for 2 weeks and press tab. With the start date and a duration, project can calculate the finish date. Over in the time scale, you can see that we have a tail taskbar that's 2 weeks long and it starts on January 9th, and you have a dark end caps to show that you have a start and finish date to find. Finally, when you look over at the task mode icon, it's a push pin. The question mark is gone because you have filled in the duration, start and finish. Now let's create a second task. I'm gonna click the next blank task name cell and name the task send announcement. This time I'm gonna tab into the duration cell, and I know this is a 3-day task, so I type 3D and then tab into the start cell. I don't know when it's gonna start or finish. I have my task mode icon, the push pin with a question mark, and over in the time scale I do have a 3-day taskbar, but the ends are faded or blurred to show that you haven't set the dates yet. That's how you create manually scheduled tasks and add information to them.